Welcome back to the Challenge Lab. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We are stepping into an interactive simulation to tackle, hands down, the absolutely hardest part of public speaking. And that's the unexpected hurdles. You know, no matter how much you prep, something on stage is just bound to go wrong. But true mastery, it isn't about being perfect. It's really about how you recover. So in this explainer, we're going to put you directly in the hot seat.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here are the rules for our little gauntlet today. I'm going to throw a real situation at you, the exact kind of stuff debaters and public speakers face all the time. Your mission is simple, but honestly, it's not easy. You're going to listen to the dilemma, physically hit pause on this explainer, and lock in your choice before I reveal the answer. Ready to test your instincts? Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Round one. We're starting off with the ultimate internal hurdle. Picture this. You're standing right there at the podium. The entire room is dead quiet. Every single eye is on you. And suddenly, your mind just goes completely blank. You have absolutely forgotten your next argument. Oh man, it's literally the terrifying moment every speaker dreads.
So what's your move here? Option A, do you stop speaking, completely break character, and apologize to the audience for losing your place? Or option B, do you simply skip the point you forgot and continue on with your next strongest idea, acting like absolutely nothing happened? This is your moment. Go ahead, pause the explainer right now, and lock in your choice.
Okay, if you went with option B, you absolutely nailed it. The golden rule of recovery is momentum. Here's the secret. Audiences actually assume you're in total control until you explicitly tell them you aren't. Apologizing totally shatters that illusion of authority. Plus, think about it. Most of the time, the audience has zero clue what your outline even looks like, so just keep the train moving.
Let's move on and see how you handle physical panic in round two. So you're right in the middle of your speech, adrenaline is just flooding your system, and suddenly you realize you're rushing. You're speaking way too fast, tripping all over your words just from pure nerves. How do you handle that adrenaline spike? Option A, do you force yourself to slow down and take a very deliberate pause before your next sentence? Or option B, do you just give in to the nerves, speak even faster, and try to cross that finish line as quickly as humanly possible? I gotta say, option B is incredibly tempting when you just want to escape the spotlight. Take a second, evaluate your strategy, and pause to lock in your answer.
So the absolutely crucial point here is choosing option A. Taking that deliberate pause actually gives you back your power. When you rush, you completely lose the audience, and your arguments just kind of blur together into noise. Forcing a hard stop, that acts like a giant reset button for your nervous system. It physically forces you to breathe, and it proves to the room, and honestly to yourself, that you are back in the driver's seat.
All right, time to really ramp up the tension for round three. We're shifting from internal mistakes to external ones now. Say you've just delivered this totally brilliant point. But when your opponent gets up to speak, they completely misrepresent or just flat out misunderstand the argument you just made. They're literally attacking a point you didn't even argue.
Here are your choices. Option A, do you just ignore their mistake and stay strictly focused on your new material? Or option B, do you take some of your precious time to clarify what your argument actually says? This is a massive test of assertiveness right here. Do you let it slide, or do you reclaim your time? Go ahead and hit pause to make your call.
And the correct answer is option B. In the debate world, silence is very often treated as consent. If you leave a misinterpretation just hanging there in the air, the judge might actually accept your opponent's false version as reality. No way! You must reclaim your narrative immediately. Strong debaters know that an argument only works if everyone in the room actually agrees on what the argument is.
Okay, round four. This one brings in the ultimate authority in the room, the judge. You're delivering what you truly believe is your most complex, slam-dunk argument. But as you glance over at the judge's table, your stomach totally drops. They're frowning, squinting. They honestly look completely confused by what you're saying.
So how do you react to that real-time feedback? Option A, do you just stick to your script, continue exactly the same way and hope it eventually clicks for them? Or option B, do you pivot right there, break down your script, and repeat your main idea much more clearly? This is a really tough spot. Are you serving your script, or are you serving your judge? Hit pause and decide your move.
And this brilliantly illustrates why option B is the winning move. Being able to adapt to your audience on the fly is an absolutely core survival skill.
Sure, it takes a ton of confidence to abandon a rehearsed rhythm, but think about it practically for a second. If the judge is lost, your brilliant argument essentially doesn't even exist. You have to prioritize clarity over delivering a perfect script.
Welcome to round 5. This is the final round of our main gauntlet, and your enemy here is the ticking clock. You glance over at the timekeeper and realize you only have a few seconds left, but you still have a ton of material sitting right there on your notepad. The panic of that countdown is definitely setting in.
Option A, do you speak at absolute lightning speed just to cram in one entirely new argument before time expires? Or option B, do you drop the new material entirely and use those last remaining seconds to clearly summarize your strongest argument? It's the classic battle, right? Quantity versus quality. How are you going to spend your final seconds? Hit pause and lock in your final choice for the main gauntlet.
The answer here is option B. Really, it all comes down to recency bias. A rushed, half-explained new point, that's instantly forgotten by the room. But ending on a powerful, clear reiteration of your absolute best point, that leaves a lasting impression. It anchors your core case in the judge's mind right as they're picking up their pen to score you. And remember, a judge can only score what they can clearly remember.
All right, you thought we were done? No way. It's time for a rapid-fire bonus round to test your ultimate confidence. Let's plunge right into it. You're speaking beautifully, everything is flowing, but suddenly you trip over a single word, or maybe you mispronounce a name. In the grand scheme of things, it's a tiny, totally insignificant mistake.
But your instinct right here determines your absolute mastery over the unexpected. Option A. Do you stop, rewind, and meticulously explain or correct that tiny mistake? Or option B. Do you just completely ignore it and continue confidently with your next sentence? So stop and rewind, or completely ignore it. Trust your gut, hit pause, and lock in your final answer.
The correct move is option B for sure. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the secret it reveals about public speaking. Most small mistakes go completely unnoticed by the audience, that is, unless you point them out. Stopping to explain a minor flub is like shining a massive spotlight on an error they probably slept right through. If you project confidence, they will follow. A true master never draws attention to an unforced error.
Okay, go ahead and take a breath. The gauntlet is officially over. So, how many of those recovery choices did you actually get right? Go ahead and tally up your final score. If you consistently chose to stay calm under pressure, if you continued speaking smoothly without drawing attention to those unforced errors, and if you took the time to clarify ideas when the audience actually needed it, then huge congratulations. You are thinking exactly like a confident master debater. You've definitely proven you know how to handle the intense pressure from behind the podium. But what happens when we completely flip the script? Our final challenge is coming up next, and the tables are officially turning. You are stepping into the ultimate seat of power. You're going to be the judge. Do you have the analytical chops to watch a mini debate, cut through all the rhetoric, and correctly decide the winner? Well, we'll see you in the next explainer to find out. Until then, keep practicing those recovery skills.